Hello YouTube, it's me again. And first of all, you have to forgive me that English is not my first language. So forgive me if I have a little bit of grammar issues. Now, I promised you years and years ago that I would be doing a review of the Erma M1 rifle. I have it right here and I'm going to review it. First of all, let's see if it's unloaded. Magazine's empty, nothing in the chamber, and we're good to go. The Erma M1 rifle is by far the best semi-automatic small caliber rifle that has ever been produced. It is also a very cheap rifle because, well, if you paid more than 150 euros for it, you've probably been ripped off. Actually, I got mine for free. Now, if you're thinking, oh, where can I get that one? Well, you have to be fast because they actually ran out. The Erma Werken, the factory that makes Erma's, has gone into bankruptcy around 1996. Well, it was originally designed as a training rifle for the West German police and the West German army, or the police and the what's it called? Customs, the customs service. And Germans usually make all their rifles excellent marksman rifles. This is one. It's cheap. It's small caliber, 22 long rifle, and it shoots splendid. Never misses. Let's first have an overview of the entire rifle. As you can see, it is based on the M1 carbine, the 22lr M1 carbine that's made by Winchester, and it has everything that feels like the 22lr M1 carbine, except it's a nicer wood finish. It has a sling attachment, a front sight based on the M1 carbine, a rear sight also based on the M1 carbine. I may advise that if you shoot it, you're actually supposed to use two eyes over the sight instead of only one, or rather 1.5 eye. The operation is fairly simple. Just click in the magazine, pull the carrier, the bolt to the back, and you're good to go. There's also a safety, just like the M1 carbine. You can see it right here. It's unsafe now, and if it's pointed forward, it's on fire. I personally never use the safety on a firearm because I only believe that there's only one safety, and it's an unloaded firearm. Aside from the bolt, it's a very simple blowback action. There's only one weak point, and that is the bolt handle, or rather the bolt carrier. If you buy one and it's broken or malfunctioning, usually this part is broken. Well, that's basically the only part that can actually fail. But there's a company on the internet from the UK, the United Kingdom, that actually makes these parts, so you can order it from them. There's also more spare magazines for sale. This is the 10 round magazine. There's a 30 round available, as I recall, but I personally prefer the 10 round magazine. What's more about say? Oh, after the last shot is fired, the bolt will be opened, or the bolt will stay open. The action will stay open, but that's because the lug of the magazine will be preventing the bolt from riding forward. As soon as you remove the magazine from the firearm, it returns back to its position. There's no way to have it actually open, so I usually put an empty case or a dummy case in front of it to show it's actually open. There's also, if you're out on buying different magazines for these, there's something you need to know. When I got this rifle, I've gotten 2 spare magazines with it. One has a slight notch, as you can see right here, and one is smooth on the back, as you can see right here. Maybe you can't see it, but I don't know, I will check that later. Maybe I'll cut that piece out from the movie. You have to actually see if the magazine actually works with this rifle. I found out that the one with notch didn't really work with my rifle, since, well, it jammed the spent cases, and the feeding of new cartridges didn't went smoothly. So I'm using the one with the smooth backside. Speaking of cartridges, some people in the United States honestly swear with Stinger 22 long rifle or copper-headed 22 long rifle, hollow point, whatever. Stay away from those. The best ammunition is actually the standard CCI standard velocity. Since it's a German rifle, you have to be German rifles or German weapons in general are very picky about their ammunition. So a CCI standard is indeed, for this rifle, the best ammunition to make it work properly. However, I recently found out another cartridge or another ammunition factory who makes these. It's German, Standard Plus or something, and this is actually the very best cartridge for this rifle. It is also the very best cartridge for most small caliber rifles. It is even more accurate than the CCI standard, and it's much smoother in the action, in the semi-automatic action, and it doesn't really clog up all the inside of the inside of the rifle. The normal CCI standards are dipped in a sort of wax. Well, they are quite a lot of times they're dipped quite a lot in the wax, so the rifle will clog up with wax and residue very soon. Therefore, I would recommend the Standard Plus. However, the Standard Plus ammunition is quite a lot more expensive. Usually these go by, what is it, 45 euros for 1,000, and these go for around 75 euros for 1,000. But it is worth the investment. Now, besides the ammunition, there's something else you need to know. This is a German rifle, and most German weapons are somehow filled with small, tiny parts. Well, I call them the Teutonic Gnome magic. And these tiny parts are crucial for the operation of the whole rifle, of the whole. Something went wrong there. I'm not sure where I was before it before the camera went off or went down. I usually film these kind of videos in a single take, so I'm not going to redo it again. I'll just cut it off where I left and see where I went later on. Well, I do not advise to take it down regularly. Once a year is fine. Clean it up with ballistol. Wipe it dry after you cleaned it. Maybe lubricate this part with silicone oil, the cheap variety. However, silicone oil may be slightly yeah, I'm not a big fan of that, because in combination with oil residue and with gunpowder residue and pieces of lead that are being shaved off when the cartridge is being pushed into the chamber, it can create a sort of polish paste, and you don't want any polish paste near your weapon. Well, what's furthermore to say about this rifle? It is a sweet rifle. It is a very cute rifle. Actually, it is the cutest rifle I've ever handled. I haven't tried the I wanted to say the Ruger 1022 M1 variety, but it isn't. The 1022 variety isn't exactly an M1 variety. If you want to have an M1 rifle, it is similar to the original one, however, but not in a big bore caliber, but in a more friendly, accurate small caliber cartridge, then I would heartily recommend the Erma EM1 or the Erma M1 or the Erma ESG22 or whatever they call them. If you find one of these, just buy it. Well, unless you're paying more than 150 euros for it, but it is a very accurate rifle. It is indeed the best semi-automatic small caliber rifle that has ever been produced, and it is a very, very sad thing that they are no longer being made because the Erma Werke factory has gone bankrupt in 1996. Well, that was it for this review, and I hope I will be doing more reviews later on. But first it's time to smoke my pipe. Thank you.